Hi, I'm Maggie,
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is
a very bookish podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to a Very Bookish podcast. It is episode 50. Don't expect much from this episode.
look. About 20 episodes ago, we're like, oh, we're gonna have our 50th episode. We should definitely do something for it, like something big. It's a big milestone for us.
So today we're just chatting. We're going to talk about some reading slumps, and we're going to talk about the Marvel Eternals. We'll let you know when we talk about that. So if you have not seen it, you can just exit out before that. But we're going to be talking about Eternals because Grace and I are excited to talk about it.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, we have many sides to us. Yes, we love reading books, but we also love the MCU. We love Star Wars. We love, kind of almost anything with a big fandom. So it's kind of no surprise. Honestly, I think a lot of book lovers love the MCU.
It's just like nerdy things.
It's just like a thing. And it's just,
It's because like the MCU is based off of technically books because it's comic books.
Yeah.
So.
And it doesn't, it's not a bad thing that all the men in the MCU are just.
Well, let's first start up with some of our updates.
Yes.
Grace is in a reading slump right now.
I am. Look, I have been fighting for my life since the Brutal Birthright series. That is the last time that I really read, and I've been fighting for my life since then. I have not been able to finish a book within a week because of that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's like a burnout. I don't think it's a burnout though. I think it's just coming off of a really high of something that you really loved and then trying to find that feeling. And yes, I'm slowly making my way through Kingmakers, but it's not the same. Kingmakers is more academia and it's more like school based, which I did enjoy, but it's not the same as
Is it in audiobook or no?
No, it's not an audiobook. Oh, I feel like that would have helped. Yeah, that would have helped too. I feel like right now I'm in the mood for a lot of audiobooks because I'm doing a lot of work. I'm doing a lot of commission work. I'm doing writing and stuff like that. And I feel like if I had an audiobook right now, it'd help me a lot more, but I don't. And I don't like leaving series unfinished. So I'm really trying to push my way through it. There are a lot of other books that I do want to get to.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of just waiting. We'll see. I finished There Are No Saints, and I was so.
I think that's the last book I finished too. That's the last book I finished was There Are No Saints.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't. I was mad because I flipped the next page and I'm like, that's it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that book was.
Yeah, something.
I haven't been reading, so I haven't tried to read because we all know I'm on a break from book talk and reading because I'm really trying to focus on my classes right now because I do have finals coming up and I got my job back at Barnes & Noble, so here in Omaha, which is exciting because I'm gonna get my 40% off.
That 40%.
But yeah, I haven't been reading. I bought a book when I went to my interview and stuff. I bought Donut in Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Yeah, I got it from Avon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got that. But my interview for that was so we literally talked about Disneyland and we talked about what I would fix for the book talk table and stuff. And he did kind of bash on the store I was at. He was like, "Oh, y'all didn't do X amount of dollars like how we normally do." And I was like, "Well, sir, you were the only Barnes & Noble within a 200-mile radius. So everybody comes here to get your shit. So because the two other locations here closed." So I was kind of like, "Sir, you're way more cramped in here. I
Mhm.
was like, it's really cramped in there. But yeah, no, I had my interview, which I'll probably be starting this week or next week, this weekend or next week. But yeah, I excited. My 40% off.
But I get that. Those orders better be coming in before Christmas comes along.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh.
Like it's I pre-ordered some books that come out in like January, February because I was nervous. I was like, I don't know how many books are going to be like in store. I mean, I could put a reservation on certain books for like before they release and then we just put them on hold for me. So I can do that still, but like I want them to ship to my house cuz I don't know why, but like shopping now like with other people and stuff, I love going. I'm so sorry, Carly. I love going to Target alone. I she literally was
That's
asking.
a betrayal.
We're
That
going
is
to
not.
we're going to Target this Saturday and we're going to buy like matching pajama outfits and stuff.
That's
Um from
cute.
like the Target brand, they have like this like it's called like Stars Above or something. It's like really soft. It like goes good. Like I am able to wear it cuz my eczema. But yeah, sometimes I just love to go to Target alone. So I'm really not that excited to be like in Barnes and Noble with a bunch of other people again.
Yeah, I feel that. I haven't been to a Barnes and Noble since.
Since you bought Dark Lover, right?
Is that the last time?
I think so.
No. Is it?
I think so because you would have asked to use my 40% off.
No. The last time I went was in June, and I got Wall of Winnipeg and Dare to You by
Oh
Lucy Hay.
yeah, when you went with Tish and Pauline.
Yes, that was the
Yes.
last time. Speaking of my Wall of Winnipeg, well, I've said this probably before, but my Wall of Winnipeg copy is so damaged. I haven't touched it since I bought it. So I didn't notice, but when I got into the car, like the whole spine on the back cover, on the back flap was coming off. And it was like off. Like usually it's like glued, like you know how self-published books are, like the
Yeah.
spine is kind of like glued in on the side flaps too. So you can't
Mm-hmm.
open the book all the way, but it has like that little part that's glued in. That part was not glued in.
Oh my
And a couple of
gosh.
pages like came out. And the spine itself, it was like, you know how older books are, like the spine isn't glued to the actual pages. There's like spacing in between. It was like that. Like it wasn't, the cover wasn't fully glued onto the book. And I got it and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst thing that I've gotten. And I'm like, do I go back and exchange it?
You
It's
can't now. I
so,
think it's over the
yeah.
time. Yeah.
And at the time, I was just like, I was thinking about that. I was like, should
I
I
would
go
have gone,
exchange
yeah.
it? And then I was just like, it's too far. And I don't feel like going. So I just have a damaged book. It's totally fine though.
I mean, it's just sitting on
It's
your
just
shelf.
sitting there. Tish will probably get on me if I
Oh
don't
my gosh.
ever read
I
it.
probably will have to read that with the audiobook because it's such a big book.
It's such a big book. It's such a big book. That's a commitment right there. And I feel like right now, the state of mind that I'm at right now,
The state
I
that both
just,
of us are in, we could never.
yeah, I can't.
Dude, I'm not going like home for Thanksgiving. So I'm spending my Thanksgiving alone. But I'm gonna be working Thanksgiving and Black Friday, so it's like I'm making money. Also, the Barnes and Noble that I work at pays $1.50 more than what I was at
Oh
the other
yeah.
Barnes and Noble, so I'm gonna get paid $1.50 more an hour, and I'm like, because if I was about to get paid $9 an hour for doing the same, like more work than I do at like sitting at my desk job, just sitting there, I was about to be like,
Yeah.
because I think I put like my minimum for 10, and the manager was like, we start at 10.50, and I was like,
Wait, that's your what's the minimum wage where you are?
$9 an hour.
Oh,
Cost of living here is it's a lot
Yeah.
lower than LA.
And that's what I get. Well,
That's what you forget.
yeah, because like when I went to Texas and then like they told me like the minimum wage, I was just like, what?
Well,
How do you
Texas doesn't
guys
have income
live?
tax. Yeah, Texas doesn't have like income tax or anything.
And then I was just like, well, that makes sense. Like you have to go into like the rest of the stuff around it, like living expenses and all of that. Like, we're over here, I think it's like at 14 or 15. I can't even remember now. I think we're at 15. I think. I can't remember. But
The
yeah,
price of living there is expensive though.
it's super expensive. And that's not enough to live here for a minimum wage. It's not enough. So yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
I would love to work at Barnes and Noble, but
Did you apply to that cafe job?
they weren't looking for anybody anymore. They closed it, and I was just like, it's fine. And it's kind of far from me. It's kind of like it's like 40 minutes
Oh.
away.
Oh yeah, then don't.
Mhm.
Well, see, so here's the tip for people who are looking to work at a job at Barnes& Noble. Apply for their seasonal temporary position. So that's just basically like the holiday season. So like after like New Year's, they'll just like drop. They'll basically be like, okay, unless they want to keep you on, they'll keep you on. And if they want to keep you on, they'll be like, hey, we'd like to hire you for like a part-time position. But like the temporary is the way to get yourself in the gate. Because you're not technically committing to part-time, but if you prove that you're valuable enough, they'll want to keep you, which is what I did.
Yeah, I definitely think I need to do that. But it's fine. I mean, I'm still not working, but it's fine. It gives me more time to focus on school, and
Writing, I saw your writing.
I am writing.
How is that
It's
going?
not NaNoWriMo, but it is something. It's going pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so reading with, oh my gosh, what's her name? It's gonna kill me if I don't get it. Hold on, give me a second. So the point is, this TikTok creator made this duet to this video where there was a bartender who
The BJ
no,
shot?
not a bartender. No,
Oh.
not a bartender. A bouncer. And oh, and no, it's not Lady McGinnis. What is it? I can't find her. She basically duetted this video of like a bouncer bandaging a girl's like foot because she like cut herself or something.
Oh, I remember that. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they like
So
fell in love kind of thing.
yeah, and so she basically like duets these videos and it's just like, oh, someone please write this like romance book. It's
Mm-hmm.
where they're at a club and then like she hurts herself and he basically like bandages her and he's kind of mad at her because she ended up hurting herself, but then she's fine. And then like, time passes by and um they don't talk or anything, but then somehow they bump into each other again and they start falling in love, even though she doesn't want to be protected, but then he still does. All of these things or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'll write it. I will. And so then I started writing it,
Mm-hmm.
started coming up with like a semi plot for it. And then Salma was on live, and then I was on there and then we were talking and then she was just like, oh, join me on live. And I was just like, okay, I'm just like writing, so I'll join. So we joined and then we started talking and then we literally started like coming up with ideas. So like I started telling her like, this is what I'm planning to do, what like, and she started giving me a couple ideas here and there. And even like the viewers were like, oh, what if he did this? I was just like, okay. And so I put all of these down in like my doc, and it was just like all over the place. Like it doesn't make sense if like you're reading it just out, but for me and the way that my mind works, it like make sense.
Mhm.
And so basically this story is basically like this guy who is from Central America, and he's from one of like the countries that are not very safe.
Mhm.
And he basically joins like a militant group when he was very, very young, and he thought that this group was helping his community, but then one day they decided to go too far, and instead of saving the people, they end up like attacking them as well. And so
Mhm.
he like is just like, no, this isn't what we did, this isn't what we were doing. And authorities come and take them, um, arrest them basically and take them out, and he ended up getting away. So years pass, he found a way to come to the US, and he has a different name, he has false papers, and
Okay, so he's undocumented, is what you're saying, right?
he's
Okay,
undocumented.
so can I just say something?
What?
That's like a big, like, would be like a big twist. What if, like, he married somebody instead? Like, like, and that's a thing where, like, he's married. He's
Okay.
married, and then, like, the wife, quote unquote, comes to see him, and the girl is like, "Who are you?" And like, as a joke, the woman's like, "Oh, I'm his wife." And then the girl is like, "What?"
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I just had that thought.
Okay. So and then I'm literally like giving this whole plot, but basically, like, he comes to the US, he's living, he's doing his own thing. His friend, who was a childhood friend of his, but his childhood friend didn't join the militant group.
Mhm,
Actually, his family ended up coming to the US
mhm,
legally, and so he's here, and he ended up joining the army, so he is, on the
mhm,
right path, supposedly, and his best friend ends up like becoming a private contractor, private security, and he ends up like being like, hey, like, I got some jobs for you, and he's just like, no, I don't want to do it. My main character's name is Mateo.
mhm,
um Mateo ended up, he's like, I want to stay on the low, like, I don't want to put my face out there, and that's how it usually is with high publicity clients and things like that, because he still doesn't know his past to come back and bite him in the ass. So he starts working as a bouncer at this club, right? And switching over to our main lead, our lady, who I'm playing around with her name, but for now I'm just gonna call her Araceli. Araceli is she is the CEO of a humanitarian corporation or group. Um, she and her father built it up together. They left. Her parents ended up leaving Central America, and now they're trying to do good for their community and trying to give back, and doing all of the stuff that humanitarians do.
mhm,
She has been lately getting a lot of threats, and a lot of her shipments for like relief haven't been able to make it through because they've been getting attacked or things like that or whatever, and
Girl,
threats of
you're telling the whole story.
I am. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is not even like the actual like storyline. This is just a setup. This is just a setup.
Girl, you go always
That's
into
me.
so much detail.
That's me. That's me. You guys should know this.
That's how I know you're excited, though. That's how I
Yes.
know, which I'm excited for you.
I
Because, like, I feel
am.
like we wanted to write fantasy when we were in the fantasy phase, but we're both
And
just
now,
not in
yeah,
the
but now we're
fantasy
not.
phase.
Now we're not.
I mean, we could
We're
change
not
it
in
up
the
and to
fantasy.
not make it fantasy at all,
We could. It
but
easily
it wouldn't
could,
it wouldn't hit though as
as the fantasy world.
I mean, it could be a
We could
murder
do.
mystery.
It would be murder mystery. Well, that's like the whole first one.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's what it is,
yeah.
and I'm working on that. It's
Mhm,
also like a second chance, but not.
mhm.
It's a thing. And then we obviously got girl best friend, guy best friend. Second book, probably. I don't know. I need to focus on the first one.
Yeah.
So I've been telling Salma, like, text me every now and then, and like, keep me on it because she's like really invested into this. And so I was just like, yeah, just text me every now and then, tell me to write, tell me, if I'm working on that scene that we thought of, so that way I can do it. And she's just like, yeah, for sure, because I really want to read this. So I was just like, for sure. So that's what I'm doing. And it's pretty cool. I love that I am able to do it with both of them being like Hispanic, and it's cool. It's cool. I like it. I'm
I like
excited
it.
about it.
It sounds fun. This is the first time I've actually heard about it. So everybody is experiencing it at
Yes.
the same time I am.
This is your
But
first
yeah,
time ever hearing about it.
yeah. I mean, because like, as y'all know, I've just been I've been also off like Instagram as well. I haven't been like, I've definitely taken a big social media break. Like I also feel like I'm being left behind, if you know what I mean. Like,
But you're not.
but I'm
You're
not.
it's girl, the book community is like the same shit cycled over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just with a different book in the forefront, and it's totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not missing anything, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know. I miss like the like creating a video, posting it, and the excitement of that. And like we're about to get really real here. I just air out all my dirty laundry on the podcast. But I'm seeing a therapist at the moment. And my therapist last week decided that I should be recommended for getting tested for ADHD. Um, and the fact, and I was talking to her and I was talking about how like I read like so much, and like
Mhm.
it's become like this like compulsion thing where it's like I'm reading like a book, and within an hour after finishing that book I'm starting another book.
Mhm.
And she was talking about that, and she was like, you're chasing that like adrenaline, like it gives you a dopamine boost because people with ADHD don't have that like dopamine as like a regular person. And I can feel it now where I'm not getting that like happiness that I do with reading, which is scaring me. Like
Mhm.
really scaring me. I can't wait, but I know I have to like focus on school right now and stuff. I mean like my finals end like Wednesday, like October 7th, or December, not October.
I was about
December
to say
7th.
that's very soon.
Oh, we're in November, ma'am.
Yeah. Oh
But
wait, duh. Fuck.
but December 7th. So like the month of December, I'm literally going to be working at Barnes& Noble and reading and creating content. That's like my whole thing. And I'm going to be working with the girl who does the Oak View. BN Oak View is the TikTok for my new place of work, which it's great that they already have like a following. So it's like I don't have to build it up like I did with Leewood. Um, I'm really excited though. It's going to be another like creative outlet, but I definitely like I feel that sadness of like not reading, especially because I have so many books I want to read. And it's like I want to read them, but I'm like I can't. Like I know I'll get distracted. And that's what I use. I would use reading as like that dopamine rush. And once I get that all situated with like getting tested, and if I do have ADHD, which my therapist was like, I think you do, based on everything that you've told me. And I was like, great. And she's like, we'll definitely get you tested, which the test is so expensive and so long. It's like $600 for a test. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's probably why a lot of people don't.
don't get tested. Don't get tested, or like you don't realize that that's what it is, because people think it's just attention, but it's also like mood. It's also like I'm always forgetting stuff.
It's also the inability to
Yeah.
focus on anything else.
Yeah,
Either.
and it's like I'll mention Carly again. Sorry, Carly. Carly and my friend Jessica, they always talk about how like I'm always forgetting like my keys or my glasses or like my phone. Like I lose them, and it's like I don't mean to, and it freaks me out because like I'll get very like I'll get very
Frustrated.
anxious and frustrated, and like it's like the end of the world for me, because it's just like it happens so often, and like even though it happens so often I should be like, oh, it's fine, I'll find it. No, my brain thinks it's the end of the world, that I've lost a single AirPod, or that like I've lost my phone, and I start like crying and stuff. because it's like I don't care about my phone. I don't care about it. But it's like
Yeah.
it just makes me really anxious and it just makes me frustrated, and that was something we talked about too. And she was like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like,
It's
That's what made her was like, "I think you should get tested for ADHD." When I told her that, she was like, "Okay." I was like,
if for me when I lose things, it's like it'll be like a scratch in my head that it's just like it's there, like it needs to be there. But then it's crazy because like if I lose something and like my phone, I've lost my phone a bunch of times. But if I lose my phone and I'm out somewhere or going through my day or whatever, um there will be like this calmness that'll like come over me where I'm just like, I know my phone is okay, but
mhm.
it's nitpicking at me that I don't have it and I need to find it and I need to find it now. But I know
Mhm.
that it's safe, but I don't know where it is. And then when someone has stolen my phone, I feel super anxious. Like
Has
I
somebody
know
stolen your phone
someone has
before?
stolen. Yeah. Two people have stolen my phone.
Did you find it?
Fuck you too. One of them I did find, but they did
Was it
not
somebody
want.
you know?
Yes, and they did not want to. They did not want to claim to it, and I'm just like, dude, I fucking know that you have it. But for those two instances, like when I know that someone has found my phone too, I
Mhm.
know someone else has it, and it's like this eerie feeling that it's just like my phone is not in my own possession, in my own space.
Yeah.
Someone else has been touching my phone. Someone else has touched it, and I feel it.
Well, like, and
And
it's and like for me, like I would lose my keys in my backpack. And it's like I
oh
know they're in
yeah.
my backpack, but I start freaking out and I don't know. I like it's not like I'm purposely trying to freak out, but it just
Mm.
I get so like just not frustrated, but like I don't know, like not caged and like oh my gosh, like I need to find it right now or else like something's gonna happen and like I need to have this now. I'm gonna get to my room and I'm not gonna have them. Like I need to know where they are. And it's yeah. It's been it's one of my little quirks. It's my sparkle. Have you seen those TikTok videos where it's like I don't want to lose my sparkle and it's like bitch your sparkle is depression. And I'm just like why is that so true? It's like, bitch, your sparkle is crying on your bathroom floor in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's definitely like very interesting. It's yeah. This is definitely not where I thought this episode was gonna go.
So, um, s- moving on.
Eternals? Do we want to talk about Eternals now?
Do we? Yes, we do. Okay. So, so Eternals. If you guys didn't know,
uh
before this is not spoiler. This is quick section. Eternals is the newest MCU movie that recently just came out. There have before it came out, there were a lot of mixed reviews on it. On like everybody said that it was terrible, that it was really, really bad. And then a lot of people were saying, oh, people are just saying that because of the diversity in it and all of these things. But coming from somebody who has actually watched it, who has watched all the other Marvel movies, who has been like obsessed with them and all of these things, this is a really good standalone Marvel movie. It's one of the first movies that doesn't have a character um that is in previous Marvel films, and it kind of really sets forward the scale of the Marvel universe outside of Earth and outside of even beyond like the Guardians of the Galaxy. So definitely watch it as like a standalone movie. Don't think about it and try to compare it to like other Marvel movies that were trying to like, get to end game. But just watch it as like a really dope movie, and you'll see that it's very, very cool, very, very visually appealing. You love the storylines, you love the characters, and yeah, I definitely recommend watching it.
Yeah, so this is where we're just gonna have full spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, definitely click off. But we're gonna go ahead and start off. You obviously liked the movie.
I did.
I liked it, but there were some parts where I was just like, okay, like let's move on. Like it was kind of like when they were like getting everybody together, and it just felt very rushed, if you know what I mean. And I
Mhm.
know that like, well, yeah, of course it's rushed because they're trying to like go fast, but it's like when they were talking about like full spoilers. So if you're still on here and you have not seen this movie, you're about
Yeah.
to get a big major spoiler.
Go
But
watch it and then come back.
but when Ajax died and like they were telling everybody, everybody was kind of just like, okay. Like you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I felt like
There
she
wasn't
was
enough mourning.
yeah, but they're also like not human. So it like would make sense that like oh, they wouldn't have that like but they're still like
Yeah, well, because
cognizant.
most of them are getting this. They're very good at compartmentalizing.
That's true.
Cersei's getting this information. When she saw that Ajax died, she was just seeing that she just died. That's
Yeah.
all the information that she was getting. And then as she went on, then she started getting all the other information of what their actual purpose
Yeah.
was. So she was able to get the information in two different parts, as was Sprite. We're not going to talk about Icarus, but they were able to get the information in
Daddy
different
Icarus.
points. Fuck Icarus, but I love you.
I kind of
Um,
really liked him as a character
I
though.
did, I did, I did. But they're getting the information at two different points in life. So they were able to
Yeah.
mourn her and then able to find out, oh crap, we're on a time limit, then we need to go, go, go. Whereas everybody else was getting the information
At the same
together. So
time.
they were getting like a double punch, double whammy. So it was like so and so died, but we need to move on. You know, so it was very quick that they had to like, yes, she died, but there's like, we need to stop this now from happening. So it's more like you feel it, but then there's something that we need to get done. It's like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
you know, it's
Yeah.
something that like it's a switch on and off.
It's not something that you can really dwell on for a long time.
Yeah,
You have to
they
kind of move
probably did get to really mourn her after everything,
on. Yeah.
after like the threat was
Well,
gone.
like
I feel like that
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, fucking
Okay.
Gilgamesh.
Okay, the fact that like but like the fact that we saw more mourning for Gilgamesh than we did Ajax.
Well,
I
because
think
Gilgamesh was one of them, like
that's true.
one of them. Ajax was above,
She was the prime eternal. She was
yeah,
kind of
she
their
was
boss.
there. She was there, but she was. It's like it's like their mom, you know, like
Yeah.
it's like losing one of your siblings. It's more because you grew up together, you fought together, you were together all the time. You were
I
on the ground.
before she died, I definitely was so confused. I was like because like she was kind of the one in charge, so I didn't I totally when I was reading it, like the beginning, they kind of did that Star Wars thing where like you read before and it's like I read it and it didn't connect that she was an eternal because I thought she was a celestial and I was like this is a weird looking celestial.
Mhm.
But like and then when she died I was like oh and then I was like oh she's an eternal. But the fact that she chose Cersei as like
But it makes sense
it makes
what
sense.
Dina said.
Yeah.
Dina said that she was chosen because Cersei had like an intimate connection with
Yeah.
humans, with the people of the planet.
Yeah.
That was her main role. Her main role was
Yeah.
actually to be with them, to cultivate the land, to be with them
Yeah.
as they grew. So she had a more of that intimate relationship that she understood and cared about the humans,
Yeah.
whereas the rest of them were just fighting to protect them or creating stories to continue on this journey of
Yeah.
life. You know, she was the one that was actually mother nature in the sense of the human race.
So who is your favorite character?
Makari.
Dude,
What?
she's like the Gucci version of the Flash.
Dude, okay. Quick, let me dive into this real quick.
This definitely felt like Marvel's version of DC character.
Oh, it's I can't even remember which one comes first, but I definitely think the Eternals come first. But look, Makari is Well, actually, they are inspired by Greek and Roman
Yeah,
gods
they are. Yeah.
mythology. So that, but Makari, this is the first time that any movie has actually done justice with an actual speedster, because this is the first time that you actually see like how a speedster moves and how they actually would fight, how they would use their abilities to manipulate the space around them. Like she was a true actual speedster, even from the
Yeah.
way that she moved, the way that she ran. First of all, that scene of her like zooming across the earth, oh my gosh, that was so like beautiful and so just like, oh my gosh. And then you have like, you look at the other characters, you look at the Flash and you look at Quicksilver and you look at the other Quicksilver, they weren't done well. Like you
Hmm.
actually saw how she moved and how fast and how capable speedsters are. For
Yeah.
me, speedsters will always be like the most powerful because of what they're able to do. Like if you go down, like I'm about to really go into it, but sorry, but like if you really like devise like every single person's like physical abilities,
Hmm.
it goes down like you break it down all the way down to like if they're doing like if you're looking at Magneto, he is manipulating the metal within like certain elements. Like you go down into like the molecular like molecules of metal and how he's able to manipulate that. That's how you can break down his power. The same thing with like fire manipulation. He's like speeding up molecules and then it bursts into flame, blah, 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 whatever. With speed, I feel like you can do so much with that. And you haven't been able to see it so much in a film. And I feel like this one, she did amazing.
Also, the fact that she was deaf and everybody knew sign language as well.
I fucking loved that.
And I think it was also cool that she used her powers to be able to sense, like, she could sense, like, the
She's
shift
still
in everything
sensing,
around her.
yeah, she's still sensing the vibrations around her,
Hmm.
which is like another like subcategory of like her like power, you know. um and I thought that that was a really interesting way of for them to use that and for them to show that with Makari. I fucking love that. And it, we're about to jump into Drake.
I know exactly what we were gonna talk about. I think, okay, like, after, like, during the movie, I was like, okay, he's okay. But, like, after, I, like, really appreciated him in the end scene when he reunited with Makari, and it was just like, and they put their foreheads together, and you're just like, they are in love. And
Dude, her scream
oh my
broke me.
gosh.
Broke me. Oh my gosh. I look, there's so many couples in this movie that it's just like, you know, people really, we really thought going into this movie that we were going to be all about Cersei and Icarus.
Yeah. They didn't
They
really have that much
fucking,
chemistry.
they fucking did like a whole 180 on us. It was very, their relationship was very visual.
Yeah.
They admired what they saw and they
Yeah.
saw what they wanted the
To
person to
see.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Icarus, fuck you, but like you know, you looked amazing. You looked
He did look
amazing.
amazing.
You look, you know,
Gucci Superman.
man, you
He
look
literally was
amazing.
Superman though. He literally was Superman.
It was inspired by Superman.
Or was he? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's literally Marvel's version of the DC characters.
Marvel's version.
Literally Black
um,
Knight. Who do you think that's gonna be? Batman.
well, no. Well,
Who did you say?
Do you know about Black Knight?
A little bit.
What do you know?
But, okay, so I watched. So I am gonna confess something.
Okay.
Don't confess often, but
Really? You don't? You
oh
sure?
well, this is
Well,
kind of a confession episode.
okay.
But to like little things like this. But like I watch a lot of like there's this like YouTube channels like dedicated to like analyzing movies and stuff. There's one called Screen Crush, heavy spoilers. It's all these guys analyzing Marvel movies and it's like the 100 Easter eggs you didn't realize were in Marvel's Eternals. That is my shit. I love those videos. Like, I will put those on and I will play like 10 of them in a row. I did that with Game of Thrones. I'm doing it now with Marvel, but it talked about the origins of the Black Knight and how it was created, the sword was created, and like talking about how it's passed down. It's not one person, it's passed down to the sons. And so Dane's uncle was the one who had it before, and he kind of like he wasn't a good guy. Let's just say that.
So the first Black Knight was like the original one, and then his uncle ended up becoming the Black Knight, but his uncle was not good at all, and kind of created like this stigma for the Black Knight being evil.
Yeah. Also, who is the voice at the end? I still have not.
What? You don't know? Do you want to know? Do you want me to tell you? It's Blade. It's Blade. Do you know who Blade is? The vampire Blade.
Oh yeah. Okay. Literally before the TV, before the movie, the vampire is it Jared Leto's vampire?
Oh, that's Morbius.
Yeah, Morbius. That ad was on, which I thought was interesting because that's like in like the Venom universe.
Well, it's not in Venom. People are trying to pinpoint what universe he's in, because Venom's universe is supposedly supposed to be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Tobey Maguire's, like he had his, Topher Grace was his Venom, but Venom, as we know him now, with like Venom and Let There Be Carnage, is supposedly set in Andrew Garfield's world. And Morbius has had like little Easter eggs across all universes. So he had Topher Grace's like Spider-Man on the wall, and then like on the newspaper it hinted at another universe that he was part of, and then he also had the Vulture in there, which is the Vulture that is in Homecoming with Tom Holland. So Morbius, they don't know exactly what universe he's in.
Well, I know Venom, the Carnage one, referenced Tom Holland's
Spider-Man. In the after credit scene.
I haven't even seen that movie yet, but I know that because I watched spoilers for it.
My goodness, man.
Dude, I like if I haven't seen the movie within like 2 weeks of it coming out, I just watch the spoiler videos for it.
I can't do that. I need
It's hard to keep up with all these movies. Like if they're not out on Disney Plus, like it's like which I wonder when Eternals is gonna get on Disney Plus, because Shang-Chi isn't on Disney Plus yet.
Shang-Chi is going to be coming out in November 12th.
Okay, Hawkeye is coming out November 24th. Why did I feel like that was so soon? Like, I don't know why, but I thought it was coming out in 2022. So I was like, whoa, this is so soon.
No, it's coming out now, girl. We are having a big run of Marvel content now. It's coming
Marvel's
out.
Like,
we got a lot. But look, this next phase of Marvel is very different from the phases that we had before. Like from the start of like phase 1 all the way to phase 4, we had like an end goal. We had Endgame. That was our, that was what we were working towards. But there have been movies setting up things that are happening after. For example, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which set up Adam, which is now going to be happening in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie, right? What's his name that's playing Adam? He's the Maze Runner guy. What's his name?
Dylan. No.
What?
No, I know who you're talking about. It's like I know who you're talking about. I heard Maze Runner. I was like Dylan O'Brien, but that's not him. It's the like nerdy guy who's like
it's the eyebrow guy.
It's the eyebrow guy who annoys everybody. He's hot now. He is hot now. Like, it's been a couple years. He's like matured and he's like hot now.
Will Poulter, that's his name.
Yes.
Will Poulter. He's playing Adam Warlock, which was hinted at in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and the after credit scene there. So we have movies that have been setting up this thing. Also, did you you probably remembered, but if you didn't, Peter Quill is part Celestial.
Yeah, because
And his dad is Celestial.
yeah.
So I recently watched Guardians of the Galaxy last night because
Mhm.
we're making my dad go through all the Marvel movies.
Mm.
And so I was talking with my brother about it because we're the type that we like go into it and we talk about it, which I should have just asked him to come on today. So we were basically talking about how like Celestials are like the biggest thing to have come into the Marvel universe so far. It is, you know, that's the level that we're at. So if you look at back, the ones who interact with the Celestials the most are the Guardians of the Galaxy, Fantastic Four, and Iron Man. Iron Man actually built a suit to fight a celestial being. That's like one of the biggest things that he's known for in comic book universe. And so it's that's like the big honcho. That's as far as big as we're gonna get in this dimension. And so he was explaining to me how, you know, how in Eternals it was saying that the Celestials are like in the core of the earth and they need like population in order to grow and to thrive and to gain power. So they are alive, essentially. They are a seed, how they start off before they're implanted into a planet. Ego was not planted into a planet. He was just thrown out there, along with some others as well, but he was just thrown out there. And then when he started creating like consciousness and, you know, being aware, he went rogue and basically departed from the other celestials. So he did not complete his bigger plan of like creating a sun and creating life and then generating another galaxy. He did not do that. So he went on his own, and then that's when he started like planting seeds in all different other planets to like create another celestial Peter for all of that stuff. And so I thought that was pretty cool because I'm just like, you know, we only saw that one celestial in this movie, or Shem, which was pretty dope. But then that also what you were saying about how Adhd could have been a celestial, she could have been because Ego was a celestial and he had his human sized version.
But I think the way she died, I think shows that she was
she was definitely an eternal. And
well, like if you think about it, like Thanos is
an eternal too.
He's an eternal and he's he has a deviant gene.
He has a deviant gene, yeah. So
which people were talking about. It's like if he was technically a deviant,
so
they should have interfered.
No.
Well, that's what I've heard people.
Well, yeah, that too, right? But because his deviant gene was not enough.
Yeah.
And they didn't
it just made him
recognize
purple.
He's a second generation eternal.
Yeah. So
he's not
born,
like first generation. He is, you know, he has siblings, he has brother, his parents, blah blah blah. He came out as a deviant gene. That's why he looks so ugly, you know, wrinkled chin or whatever.
I called it the ball side chin.
He had a point.
But yeah,
he had a point.
He definitely was trying to stop
stopped the emergence.
He literally, I think, I saw a video and I was like, that's the reason why Thanos.
That's the reason why.
It was why, because it's like you cut off half the population, but then like
across
I saw a video.
Universes.
I saw the video and it was like humans would have repopulated back to the same amount within 30 years. Screen Crush, Brian Airy from Screen Crush, he talks about it in a video, but he was like, yeah, like it wouldn't have, for at least for Earth, it wouldn't have really helped because within 30 years it would have been back. So he would have had to come back again and snap again. So for that, it wouldn't have been like
effective.
So it still wasn't like, yes, it was correct, but the mathematics of it doesn't really add up because it's like, well, in 30 years, it's what's the point? So
Yeah, it would have been moot. But just imagine
yeah,
had we just had some communication.
Asian.
Had we just had, this is
But the thing is,
this is taking the miscommunication trope to a
trope
whole new
to a
level,
whole new
to a
level.
whole new level. Because had he talked with the Avengers
Well,
about
like,
telling them,
okay,
I don't think but that's like
not to say
grasping
that
at straws.
Thanos was right,
Not to say that
but
he
to
was right.
say Thanos wasn't wrong. Like
Was
population
he?
control. Like if you think about it now, like we're using up resources and stuff at like an accelerated rate. Like we're already thinking
Yeah.
about colonizing other fucking planets. Like,
That's the next step, babes. That's the next step.
dude, I have been having like intrusive thoughts this whole week about like the whole meaning of life after this movie. Like, don't think you realize, like, I was literally like, what is the point? Like, I literally had like a freak out over like, what is the point? Like, what is the point? What is the point?
I'm not gonna answer that question for you. You gotta figure it out. You figure it out. We're not gonna jump in deep, okay?
Okay, let's talk back to the
we're
Okay,
not
so
gonna. This is not
okay,
the type of moment
so
for this.
I really appreciated that there was the sex scene. It wasn't like a sexy sex scene. It was literally him thrusting in her, and she was like, "I love you." He's like, "I love you too." But but like
Yeah.
I think
Oh my gosh, it was
the
so awkward.
director, it was awkward, but like
No. It
Oh.
wasn't awkward. It was more like I'm
You're
now
with your
going-
parents.
No, thank God.
Oh.
I went to go see it with Jacob, with my brother. That's
So awkward.
And it's funny because like we were talking about going to the movies before, so like my dad was just like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" And like now that theaters are opening up back up again, and our theater close by is really really nice and pretty cheap, we're always going to the movies now. And so he was just like, "Oh, we'll go," and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea because there's like there's a sex scene in it, and he was just like, and then that was just kind of like a thing. And then he was also saying it for our little brother to go, and I was like, no, please don't.
I do think though the director was talking about it, and she was like, it's important to show that like they're capable of like doing good, but also like finding love, and that like they're not incapable of not having those like intimate relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is important to have those. And I thought that was very like interesting that like we see love stories in the Eternals, and we see like even with Gilgamesh and Thena, they're not.
Oh my gosh.
They're in love.
Oh,
They were in love.
They were in
They
love.
were in love. They were the friends who would not admit that they were in love.
They were.
You know they were in
like,
love
They
because
were like the
literally
life partners that always were together, and
Yeah.
just like maybe had no sexual like intimacy, but I
But
feel
they
like it's
loved each
happened.
other.
I feel like it's happened a couple times. I mean,
the
you're
way
alive
he
for like
looked at her,
7,000,
the way he looked at her,
and the way that like she felt safe with him,
With
and,
him.
like like
He was the-
he was the only one.
okay, it was the failed attempt. You know the failed attempt of Natasha and Bruce
Yeah, that's
Or-
literally what it was.
when they were like
Banner.
Banner. I don't know. But like when she
Yeah,
was
it's
like
Bruce,
calm,
girl. Bruce Banner.
I was like, I don't know why I called him by his first name, but Banner. Like when she would like touch his hand and soothe him and stuff.
With
or it
like
was
the
just
whole
weird.
lullaby.
It was just
Yeah,
weird
what-
because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But like with Thena and Gilgamesh, you kind of saw that build up, and it's like they had like 7,000
Within
had
like,
millennia
the first
together.
like 30 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
you had the build up between
Yeah.
them two, between Druig and Makari, and obviously between Icarus and like
They
Cersei.
fucking got married. Oh my god, they got married. The
I
whole
would have. I thought that they were getting married so many times. I thought they had like gotten married multiple times. It was just that one time.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Well, my question is like that all their memories get wiped. So how many times have they fallen in love together?
Or how many times have they switched it up and gone for a different?
Yeah, that's true. But it's like I think they talked about it how like they're yes, their memories are gone, but they're still their core selves.
Yeah, they are.
So I wonder if like
That's
they would
why
still
but then that's also why like we love them all together, because like
yeah.
you guys know me. I love team ups. I love crossovers. I
You have found
love
family.
groups. I love them families. I love that sense of companionship in a group. And it's like my favorite movies. That's why all my movies are like of like the MCU are the Avengers
Mhm.
movies, all of them, and like
Hold on, I'm gonna
Civil
grab
War,
water real
because
quick.
they're all together. I love that. So for this movie actually did everything that I actually wanted. It did everything that like I wish the other movies had, where like the scene where they were having dinner together and they were joking around and they had like jokes about each other. That's what I wanted. That's what I always look for when I'm seeing like team ups. I want to see you be like actual friends, not just like coworkers that you switch shifts with and now you're all together. I don't want it like that. I want it like the coworkers that you would ride or die for, like the ones that you're like that that you have a shift with them and then you get so hyped up that you're with them. I want that type of group instead of like the group of just like, the ones who want overtime and then they're just from all different types of ships, but we all here and we're all working together. That's what I felt like the Avengers were, where they were just like they're cool with each other, but they're not in
The
it.
Avengers weren't really a family.
They
Versus like
weren't.
the Eternals feel like family.
They were the Eternals were co-workers who loved working together and being together and hung out outside of work.
So, question: how did you feel about the whole Sprite? That was my phone. Sorry. How did you feel about
Fucking
the whole?
pick me. Fucking
Okay,
pick me.
fuck.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Also,
so I
falling
saw
in love with Icarus.
bitch, back
I
up.
was so concerned that they were gonna make it like there was gonna be like a,
No,
and I was
because
like,
he
please
didn't
don't.
give her the time of day
Yeah.
anyways in the entire time. But so I saw this funny video. I've been seeing a whole bunch of videos on the Eternals, and it's like this one where it's just like going through each of the Eternals and like giving like a quick description.
Mhm.
And this one fucking funny. He was just like, when it got to Sprite, it was just like, you know what you did. It was very off-brand of you. It was very Sierra Mist, 7 Up of you. You fake ass bitch. I was just like, yes. Yeah.
Like, okay, you know how they were describing like the Peter Pan, Wendy, and then Tinkerbell? I was like, fucking Sprite looks like Peter Pan.
She does. She does look like Peter
She looks
Pan.
like I felt bad because I understood that like she was stuck in like a child's body, but she was thousands of years old.
Hmm.
And I would understand how that's like you see everybody around you who is adults
And
who
they're
are in,
getting to live life and
they're
they're
getting to
getting
live
to
life,
like,
they're getting to fall in love, they're getting to have that partner. It's like you for a person like if you really think about it, she's thousands of years old. She's an adult basically in a girl's body, and even at the club for Dane's birthday, you see her as an adult. Like you see her in her adult form because she can project that. And I was just wondering, why didn't she just project that the whole time?
because when she comes, like you saw when he touched her,
That's
the
true.
illusion faded. So
But
she
you
would
can
have
still
that.
wear the illusion.
Yeah, you could wear the illusion every now and then, but as soon as someone made
Touches
contact with
you.
her or like the illusion is pushed up against something, it's not going to withhold. It's not the same as like with Loki's
Yeah.
illusion, because Loki's illusions are not actual, they're not just like astral projections. They
They're like
are, he's
physically
literally
changing.
creating the exact likeness of himself
Hmm.
and duplicating it to making it another version. It's something different.
It's something you can stab.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll fade, but it's
Yeah.
there.
I
So
definitely, I did not
she,
like, at first, I liked the relationship between Cersei and her because it was definitely
mhm.
that like older sister, younger sister vibe. But after
And Dan, but
yeah,
then also with that, it's just like Sprite is pushing her to Dan. What? Because she's
Dane,
also why did I say Dan?
I don't know, but also it was very confusing after when they the first like when they were with Dane, I don't know what
That
it's
there
called,
you go. See,
and
there
they
you
saw
go.
the mutant and the deviant came, and then he was like, "Oh my gosh, is that a deviant?" I was like, "Wait,
Because Sprite had been
Sprite told
telling
him
him stories.
everything?"
Yeah, so she's been messy from the start.
Like,
Messy. So I feel like this is what I think it is. I think that Sprite was literally telling Dane all of these things about Cersei so that he would fully accept her. And so Cersei would not have this fear of like
of
wanting to
rejection.
go forward with him, but then
Yeah.
not having him tell the truth.
Well, he asked her if she
And
was a wizard, and I thought that
yeah,
was hilarious.
right. And so like then if Icarus did come back, Cersei would have already moved on. And so then it would have leave space for her
I
to
think
move
she
in.
had moved on. She had moved
She
on.
had, but it was still like that lingering thing of like
It was that thing of like,
live.
oh, have
We're
I
the
moved
same.
on?
We're the
Yeah.
same. You know? That's how I felt it was with that. But Dane did not believe the stories completely.
Yeah. Yeah.
He understood that there were some weird things happening, and with the weird things that have been happening on Earth for many years.
Well, it's like everybody in the universe now is kind of like, oh, superheroes
Something.
are real, so it's not really
It's not
as
too big, yeah. And then with his past as well.
Yeah. Well, he didn't really know about it until his uncle told him.
He knew about it by this time.
Oh, he did? I thought he didn't know about it till after his uncle gave him the sword, when he reconnected with his uncle.
Yeah. He had it already, though.
He did? I thought
in this movie.
I thought that like she told him to reconnect with his uncle.
Oh, you're right.
And so I thought that's when he was told, is because he went and reconnected, because everybody thought the world was gonna fucking end.
Yeah, you're
and she was like told him like over the phone, like, go talk to your uncle and stuff, and that's when he found out.
He knew that there was something up though, because of that ring.
I think he knew something.
He just didn't know.
I think he's definitely looked into his family past,
for sure,
but I don't think he knew exactly about like the Black Knight and everything.
Cersei definitely knew.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Also, did you notice that when she walked into the museum, she was like, "Hey, Charles," like she knew Charles Darwin, and I was like,
so cute.
Oh
I
my God.
love when that stuff happens. I love those little moments, because it's like funny.
Like, it's so cute, but also like I liked those little things apart in this movie. Like, genuinely, I liked the movie. Like, would I watch it again? Go to theaters and watch it? No. Am I probably gonna watch it again on my phone on Disney Plus? Yes, I'll probably watch it multiple times. But
I'm the type of person that I'll watch a Marvel movie at least 2 times in theaters, because of like, number one, the first time I watch it is like the excitement of it being there and everything, and then the second time is like when I'm like looking for the things that I really am looking for.
You know who we haven't talked about? There's 2 characters that we have not talked about yet.
Bastos
and
Kingo. Fuck Kingo, man. Kingo, you
didn't
funny.
like him?
I didn't like what he did at the end. He was a big follower. I didn't like that at the end.
Yeah, I definitely forgot that he wasn't in the final like scenes. Like that definitely like went blank in my mind, but I kind of understand. Like, it's like your whole like belief system is literally torn apart, and like he genuinely believed that they were like doing good and stuff, and then like to be told like, oh, the thing that you've been like following for thousands of years is wrong. And it's like, and I think that's kind of why Icarus killed himself. It's like he was like, I think Kingo is definitely going to take that time to like reevaluate and stuff. And like him taking himself out of the equation, I don't know exactly how he would have played into the final scenes, because I definitely think the final battle scenes were amazing. I loved it, and I think it flowed really well. But I think removing him was good, because it also showed that other side of like somebody who is still torn up about it, and like that other perspective of like being so torn up about your world tilting on its axis, and like having to like remove yourself from a situation to like not hurt the people you love.
And he was like obsessed with like Icarus being like the it boy, and like figuring out that
he was making a movie about him. which I thought was funny. Okay, who was the guy who was with him? His like manager, assistant.
I can't remember his
He was
name.
iconic. Okay, during when they were in the Amazon and like the deviants were all there and he was
The
just
cameras.
he kept pulling cameras.
He kept pulling one out, and then she was just like, "How many cameras do you have?"
And it was
Just,
so
you
funny.
always bring a backup.
The last deviant when he like shot him and he's like, "Did you get that?" And you just hear him off from another side. "I got that, boss." I thought that was iconic. I thought it was great.
He was Karun.
Karun, I think he definitely added that comedic element that Marvel movies have that this movie
Yeah,
really needed.
I
Like
loved
without him,
him. He
it
was
was
awesome.
I think that was one of my favorite like side characters. Like
Yeah,
that was like a one where you just every time you would see him or you would laugh and like
yeah. And then like the end when Kingo is like, I'm sorry, I can't do this, and he
yeah.
leaves. He was just like, I want to thank you guys for all you guys have done for
He's
this. And I
so
was just
sweet.
like,
He's a fucking teddy bear.
I wouldn't want anyone else to represent the human, the human species.
Like it was so cute and like I liked that too that like Kingo was still like his like eccentric self and like he was just because he was like an eternal like he still wanted to be popular, he still wanted to be, and I think that goes to show that like Icarus, how much he idolized Icarus and how much he wanted to be that like popular person and to be viewed as like this like I don't know like how Icarus is viewed, and I
Yeah,
think
the it guy, the
yeah the it
golden
guy.
boy. Yeah,
Also, the generational pictures where he's like, "This is my great great grandfather. This is
I
my
thought that was
great great
funny.
grandfather. This is my great grandfather. This is my grandfather. This is my father. This is me." And it's just him every single picture, just
Like
like
he couldn't
icon.
even change a little bit, like add a beard to one or something,
Yeah,
He was just like, no, it's me, it's me, but
it's
different fonts, okay,
yeah.
different fonts.
I definitely
Um,
enjoyed those
he
characters.
was very, very funny. I was laughing a lot when he would come on and do his little
Yeah,
moments. I thought that was very, very cool.
that was
Um,
funny. I think it was funny when they were asking questions to like Sprite, and then Sprite was just like, and then dissolved. I thought that was funny. And then like he started asking Cersei questions, and Icarus sat down next to her, and he had like a cup, like a bottle, like a glass of scotch, and he's just looking. I
yeah,
thought
he's
that was
looking
so
at her,
funny.
waiting for her to like respond. I thought that was cute.
Yeah,
And so I was rooting for them to reconnect.
I was. I
I
honestly
was.
was.
But then I was also like, something feels off. So,
After I found out about the betrayal, I was like,
fuck
oof,
you. Fuck you.
oof.
Go get
Also,
Dane, girl. Go get Dane.
but I am rooting for Druig and
Druid and Makari. Drukkari.
Makari,
Drukkari is it.
Drukkari,
A lot of people are saying it's Drukkari, but no, it's Drukkari. I want to say
Drukkari.
Drukkari. Drukkari.
Drukkari, because it's like they are the it, like
They're the
they're
it
talking about
couple.
how it was like they fell in love with being companions and stuff, and it's not, and it's like when he like died, I was like he didn't die. I was like he didn't die. I didn't
He
see him
couldn't
die.
die. He couldn't die.
Yeah,
And if he did, and like, look, we didn't really get to talk about Druid. I want to get to Fastos too. But let me get Druid out of my system for a second. I mean, he will never be out of my system, but let's just get into it. Druid, look, he when going into this movie, I thought he was going to be like the sinister one because of the whole manipulation. And that just goes to show you that like his power, though he was capable of using it for like really, really evil, he was the one that was most compassionate. He understood what it felt like to have someone else's will in the palm of your hands and then them not being able to do anything about it. He understood the basis of his powers so well that he knew that letting them go on and not being able to help them was the worst possible thing to do. So that's why he ended up,
yeah,
he's just like, we have to do something. We have the power to do something to help
yeah.
these people do better for their lives, to
Because
help.
it was a genocide. It
It was,
was a
oh, and
genocide
let me
happening.
just say, that scene, as like a Mexican woman, it felt very like, fuck, watching like the Spaniards, like, commit genocide and having that scene, it was just like, fucking bitch. Because like we know the type of genocide that happened. We know, all of like the pain and history and the bloodshed that went on with our history. But having it in a movie, having to see it,
it's different.
and then seeing them not do anything about it.
Yeah.
It was just like, fuck you. But then it was also like, but we have to understand that they are outside of this thing. And so there are two people with this. And I've been seeing a lot of like Mexican people being on both sides of this like story of like, one being like, why did you have to put that into the movie? You did not need to do that. But then on the other side, it was just like, it needed to be in there. It needed to show that there were important moments of this world that they could have stopped, but they didn't because they couldn't, and
it adds to the bigger thing of their whole purpose was that war, and it does, war pushes evolution and our technological evolution and stuff, and it's like it's this sad reality that that's when humans thrive, is war.
It was like it felt like fun. Like you would have thought like more of them would have said something and more of them would have wanted to do something. And Druig was the only one that did anything.
And I think because like he had that power, he had the power to make them stop, and he did. He made them stop, and he was like, "I'm like you are gonna have to kill me. Like if you want this to continue, you will have to kill me."
Yeah, and then like I saw somebody be like, "Oh yeah, we love a white savior," and I was just like, "Fun."
But like that wasn't the point.
He ain't really
like,
white.
He's not human. He's not like human. He's not human, and I also don't think he's white. I don't know.
He's
I know he's British.
He's right? Irish. I want to say
he's Irish. Well then, yeah, that's white. But I didn't think he was fully like.
I don't know. I don't know much about them.
I don't know much, but his voice.
His voice. And so like, look, this man had the foresight to be like, I fucking told you all. I told you all that this was wrong. I told y'all. But I'm gonna take my little commune. I'm gonna go off. We're gonna make our own thing. We're gonna make our own life.
Commune was so funny.
It was so funny, but it was like, it was pretty dope. I liked it. I was like.
And of course, it's like all the Eternals fucking come there, and then all the deviants,
and then all the bad stuff happens. Like, come on! And then that man fighting, in the muscle shirt. I was like, dude.
And he was like shooting. I was like,
he was doing like flips over that deviant,
but
shooting off
like
his head.
His Eternal uniform, where it's like the robe kind of thing, and it was like blowing in the wind.
Yeah,
I was like,
Makari, I definitely know what you'd be looking at.
I want to be her. Like, I want to be her.
And then, like, look, their whole vibe and their whole relationship. Like, dang it! I'm sorry that I keep going back to this. It's just, I just can't stop talking about them.
Grace found a sweatshirt with the two of them on it, and it's sold out. But we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them and wear them together. I'll get the black and red version because I love the black and red. I don't know what version you want, but I want the black and red one.
I love them so much. It's just like, even
I think they're my new Marvel relationship.
Yeah, they're like them in Babylonia when they're like talking with people and people are trying to swindle her, and then like he doesn't even step in. He lets her handle it because he knows that she can. And
he's like whispering to her and stuff.
Yeah, and then they're like signing together. Oh, okay. And then I heard that their relationship was not a thing, but the chemistry between the two characters and how they played it
in Babylonia, but then when they got back together,
no, girl, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it wasn't a thing while for like filming. It was not. It was not part of the movie.
They added it in.
They added it in because of their like little inside moments, and they're just like, you know what?
I'm so glad they did that.
We're gonna make this a thing because like they both tweeted it. of like he ended
Oh.
up like there was like somebody tweeting like saying it was like an article saying like fans falling in love with Druig and Makari being the new relationship or whatever, and then he retweeted it and he's just like, my darling, people have spoken. And then she replied back and she's just like fuck, I can't remember what she said, but she's just like, I'm so happy, like
We
so
added
happy the
her.
people loved what we did or something like that.
I also think that their relationship wasn't defined in Babylon. Like they were like still friends because when they got back together, you saw them like reuniting when when she was in the ship, and then they like reunited and they were like talking and everybody was like looking at them like they were like, "Is this Like I think Fastos was like, "Is this
Is this a
happening?"
thing? Is
Yeah, he was
it?
like, I think they said like, "Is this a thing?" Also, the Twinkies and the Twinkie moment
And the
between
tablet
Icarus
and
and
Drake.
it's like
That's why I love this movie so much,
yeah,
because it has a lot of those like familial
yeah.
moments that is
But
just like,
definitely that moment was so cute where it's like he's talking about the tablet and stuff, and
because he remembered.
he remembered, and she was just like, and then they're all just kind of like,
Yeah,
did we
and then
miss a chapter?
come on, and then you're hearing, well, because they haven't been together, so I
Yeah.
definitely feel like they have met up a couple
Well,
of times
I
over the
think because
series.
she left, she was able to leave because
Yeah,
it
she
was,
she
yeah,
left multiple times to collect all of
yeah.
those things. She did not just stay in
She
there,
didn't
though
sit in
it
there.
looks like that.
Yeah,
That was her home though.
yeah.
But like then the way that he went up to her and he brought up the tablet and then he said his famous line, "My beautiful, beautiful Makari, did you miss me?" Fucking my insides just
Like I
melted.
think this is what the Marvel fan base needed. Like they needed to see like two powerful beings, like superheroes being in love and being able to like relate to that until cuz like if you think about it in the Avengers we didn't really have that.
Yeah, we didn't have
Like
that romance couple. It was
maybe
forced a
Peter
lot,
Quill and
Gamora, but that's
Gamora,
not
but
even
not even
developed.
anymore. And then like I guess you could say Tony and Pepper.
But they had a different dynamic of the
Yeah.
relationship.
And so it's like this one just feels very like it has that chemistry, I feel like. And I'm so excited to see what else happens. But okay, can we first talk about fucking Harry Styles?
I
I'm
knew he
sorry,
was in
where?
it. I knew when
I
he was
didn't
in it.
I saw the post on TikTok where it's like the requirement for being in a Marvel movie is now you only have to be Taylor Swift's
Oh yeah.
ex. And I saw that
So
and I was like, "Oh, I
I
don't
found out that
understand."
he was on like back when the announcement was made that he
Mhm.
was joining. Um and so I had known that like Taylor Swift's
Mhm.
X thing was like a thing for Marvel Universe, because we have Tom Hiddleston, we have
Yeah.
Harry Styles, we have Jake Gyllenhaal, we have like a lineup in there.
Yeah.
Um and it was when I found out that he was in it, I thought it was really funny. Because I'm just like, I don't know how I'll see that. But then I haven't seen Harry Styles in a lot.
I don't think we've
I
ever
haven't seen most of his films. He was in that war movie with Brad Pitt. It was like The Indestructibles or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his movies.
And that one's like a little bit more serious, and I haven't seen it yet.
But
So I
I'm
haven't
excited.
seen. I am, because I feel like he'll be fun.
He's
And
such a
Aries
he's an
is
icon. Harry Styles is an icon.
he is, and Aries is he's fun and he's
Yeah.
charismatic. He's a lot different than Thanos, than his
Yeah.
brother, and so yeah, I'm excited to see that. But we need to talk about Fastus.
Okay. I think
Fastus,
he was
I love
also
him.
such a great the fact that we
Love
have
him.
a gay black
Black.
man superhero who has a family too
Who
and like
has a
chose and
family.
was like I choose my family, like I want to be with my family. And I think that's a very like we haven't seen like we've seen that with like Tony and stuff, but Tony would always go back to
Yeah, that was always a thing for him, always having to
Yeah.
go back. He did not want to go back though.
Yeah, he was
Festus
like,
did not want to go back.
I want to stay here.
And it has to do with the fact that he enjoyed creating. He enjoyed,
Yeah.
developing. But then when he saw like what his creations would do,
He
what
lost
the
faith.
consequences of his actions were, though they were according to like, the greater scheme,
Yeah.
he saw what damage it did and his compassion was a little bit too much. And I feel like that's with all of this group, is that their
Yeah.
compassion was more than what they had in previous years.
Yeah.
And
the IKEA scene.
the IKEA scene was funny. I was
I
waiting
knew it was
for that because
happening.
it was like the trailers, it's coming. But the
But it was
part that he
funny.
did the laser into like the door,
Yeah.
and that part, I was like, oh, okay. But and also that his husband was an Arab man.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty. I thought that was like
The diversity in this, the
there is
diversity was
one.
served, and it didn't feel forced.
No, it was like normal. I was just like,
Yeah.
this is how the world is in where I know it to be. But one bad thing about this is that the kiss felt forced.
Which one?
Faust's kiss with his husband.
I honestly don't remember it.
Oh, hun, you gotta go watch it again, because that kiss, I'm telling you right now, that kiss felt super, like he did not look into it. And that's also why you have to have someone who is gay, queer, whatever, in the assigned parts that they're playing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you get that like it doesn't feel right. It feels like there's something missing, and that's what it was about the kiss. It's just like it didn't feel like him saying goodbye to his husband. It was like him just kind of being there and the husband kissing him. So if you're able to look at that kiss again and look at it, you'll see what I mean. Had he been into it like maybe at least 10% more, it would have been great. But you could just feel it that he was not there,
Yeah.
I would have liked it a little bit more, like a little more effort.
Yeah.
And had it had that, I would have been like, yes, we have like fully fleshed out. But it was missing that, especially for getting a whole sex scene.
Yeah.
Come on, we could have had a little more intimacy there, balance it out.
Yeah, I know this movie got like a 53 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I do not think it deserves that.
No, and people. But
I also don't think it's the best Marvel movie.
No, it's not. It's a good standalone, though.
Yeah,
it's a good standalone, because these characters had nothing to do with anything that happened previously, and their story could end
an introduction to like a new
their story could end here. They're like they don't have to all come back.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Thena, Makari, and Druid could come back.
Yeah. Well,
but then like the ending,
Cersei,
the ending.
Who was it? Cersei. Who were the three that got pulled?
Astus.
And then.
And Kingo.
Kingo, that's who it was. Because I forgot Sprite was human now.
Sprite's human.
Which I think she deserved.
Yeah. She needed that. She needed to finally grow up. But like I'm saying, like this movie, it's completely on its own. It has nothing to do with the things on Earth, which is where most of the movies have been. Now we're expanding. Now we're going out. Now we're going to see more. That's what like Doctor Strange's Madness of the Multiverse is. That's what Thor Love and Thunder is about. That's what the next Guardians movie is going to be about. It's going to be about things that are outside of Earth. We're moving on away from Earth into bigger, more intense things. Whereas on Earth, we have things going on with like Hawkeye, we have Falcon and Captain America, and those things going on. We have
Winter Soldier and Captain America.
Yeah, and I feel like that is going to be more like secret invasion that they're going to have to deal with. So it's going to be more earthly bound things that they're dealing with, but everybody else is going to be, in the skies, in space. And so it's very two different plot lines that we're gonna be following, and I don't think it's gonna connect for a little while.
Well, my question is with Doctor Strange.
Hmm.
Doctor Strange deals a lot with the kind of like not of this world. Like he
Yeah,
deals
he
a lot
deals with
more.
different dimensions.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's
But
gonna
then you also have to think about like what Loki ended up setting off.
Dude, the amount of shit that they're gonna have to try to pull together for the next 10
But
years, like I
but
wanna see what's gonna happen.
you got to think about it. Now all of this stuff that happens doesn't have to be happening in this
The
timeline.
same.
It
Well, I
could
don't
be
think
in
Loki's
different
is
timelines.
happening in the same timeline.
Loki happened outside of timeline,
Yeah.
and his affected all the timelines branching off
Yeah.
and now interconnecting, and now we have crossovers, and now we have all of
I think Loki's is the reason. That's why cuz like I'm okay, the characters like that are developing and stuff that I'm excited to see for like in the movies coming up is Shang. I'm excited to see him, see where he goes throughout the Marvel universe.
I love Shang-Chi.
Makari and Druig. I want to see where they end up. I also okay. Shout out to Angelina Jolie. She actually did really well in this movie.
She
I didn't
learned
think
ballet for this
I
role.
didn't think she would like do exactly like how I would expect her, but she did
She
really
did
well for this.
amazing, and she did it a
And
great job.
she embodied that like bitchiness that Thena has of like being that kind of standoffish
She,
person.
you know what she was? She was exactly what they tried to do with Thor's mental like stability. They did not do like his mental health and his mental deterioration very well, like his depression and all that.
Mhm.
And Thena, they did it really, really well.
I think they
This
truly
is what
showed the
Thor wanted to be.
PTSD. If you think she had like PTSD from the times before, and
Mhm.
I think the showing of it was really well how she was killing people, but she literally like, and I thought that was crazy how she was killing, like she was like hurting everybody and stuff, and but she was like avidly like afraid and stuff. And then it's like you find out later that like she's talking about the world's dying and stuff and how everybody was just dying. And if you
Mhm.
really think about it, that's like really sad is like that she has those fractured memories of that. And like Gilgamesh is gone.
I fucking hate that Gilgamesh is gone.
Like, why could have Sprite died?
Sprite needed to die. That thunk on her head should have been a lot harder.
Okay, when Sprite had the whole monologue and then Druid just came up and went thunk.
And he's just
Iconic.
like, Cersei, go do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But also, I think like that part too, like Druig not being more active into the fight scene was because they needed a way to transfer over the responsibility of pulling the Celestial to
Yeah.
sleep over to Cersei.
Yeah. And I also like that we kind of all felt that like initial shock of like, oh my god. Like I knew he wasn't dead
No.
because like they aren't dead unless they die on screen in front of me, kind of thing.
Yeah, we
So
learned
it's
that
like-
from Loki. Okay,
yeah,
we learned.
that from
We learned.
Loki. Like
We learned.
we learned the Marvel universe, but like I okay, like I think my favorite part was the second half where they were on the volcano island. I think that was my favorite part of
That
the whole
fight
movie.
scene was
The
intense.
fight scene
I
was
fucking love that.
intense.
Makari went in on Icarus' ass, and then Faustus
Dude.
said, "I fucking got you. I fucking got you. I've been
Okay,
waiting to clip your wings." I was like, "Yes, Faustus, get in up in his ass."
it was just so great. And then Thena getting revenge on the deviant. I was like,
Yeah,
also the like deviant was like really weird, and he was like caressing her face and stuff. And I was
because
just
he.
like,
Well, you got to remember
he got
that he has been
Fastos's like
not
memories.
Faustus, girl, Makari, Gilgamesh's
Gilgamesh,
memories
yes, Gilgamesh.
and Ajax memories
Yeah,
and
of
feelings as well.
yeah, that's true. But
So
it's
he
just also
felt,
really weird, and
yeah,
you're just like, oh,
because when he got Ajax, he had that desire to find them,
yeah,
and so it was fed also by that, and also understanding each of their abilities, so he was able to fight them better. And then when he got Gilgamesh's, that attachment to Thena
And he
was
knew how to calm her
more.
down.
Yeah, was more. Yeah,
Which
that's what it was.
it was such a
Felt
full
weird,
circle.
but it was also,
Yeah, felt like such a full
dude. And
circle
the way
for
that she
me.
chopped that dude up, like he was
I
like,
knew she was like faking it. I was waiting for her to like kill him. I was like, she's gonna kill him here. She's gonna like distract him and be like, "Ugh," and then
okay. And then like how all of them are like, I love how like they were in big like the center of societies as like time went on. I love that, like how Greek mythology is
was
inspired
inspired
by
by them.
them,
Which I think is interesting because they're inspired by
inspired
Greek
by Greek
mythology,
mythology.
which is all thanks to Sprite telling the stories and stuff.
Yeah, and doing all of that. And so like you think about it, that's pretty dope. I like this movie a lot. It had the things that I am always looking for with like the found family and like the different powers and things like that. So I really liked it.
I did
Um
enjoy the movie.
yeah, I say it's like a solid 8 out of 10 for me.
Solid 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Okay.
Because like I'm giving it like a 3.5.
So I have a question for you. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question
Our
for you.
last question.
Our last question. If you could have any of the Eternals' abilities, whose would you have?
So I think honestly, I think I would want Sprite's ability of like illusions and stuff, but I wouldn't want to be in a child's body. If
Okay.
I had to choose, like if I had to choose Sprite's power and be in a child's body, then I would probably choose, okay, no, actually Thena. Never mind. I would
Okay.
be Thena. I'd be Thena.
Okay.
I was like, why am I lying to myself? I would be Thena. It fits my
Yeah.
personality a lot more.
Okay. Okay.
Who would you be? Oh, I already know.
Yeah. Oh, Makari.
Makari.
If I could be Makari and have Drake call me beautiful, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, but I always have a thing for speedsters. Um, they're always usually my favorite characters. I love how, like I said, I love their abilities, and I love how, like, if you really dive into the evolution of their abilities and how they're able to like manipulate a lot of things, I think that's really, really dope and really
Mhm.
cool. I would definitely want to be her. I love Cersei's too, and I feel like Cersei's abilities are really, really cool. And if she was able to like develop them a little bit more, because her power is very creative, and I really like that. But it also could be used as a very, very good defense, like learning how to manipulate things in order to defend people, essentially build things, and then like even take it a step further, and somehow down the line like she could also start like bending, like earth bending essentially, and things like that. So between the two of them, Cersei and Makari, for sure. Faustus is pretty dope too, though.
That's true.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that
Okay,
man.
we cannot. No, we can't choose anymore. But
Fine.
this is probably where the end of the episode is going
Yes,
to
it
be.
is.
Because we have gone for quite a while, and I've been looking at the time, and I was like looking down. I was like, Grace, you guys should be looking down. So thank you everybody who has been listening. I
Thank
don't
you
know
for
what next
listening
week.
to our, yeah, we don't know. But thank you guys for listening to 50 episodes of a Very Bookish podcast. If you guys have been with us since the beginning, we love you guys.
50 fucking episodes.
This started as just me and Maggie just wanting to talk, and I feel like it's kind of like full circle that this 50th episode is basically us just talking, and that's like pretty insane.
It's why we made it the podcast.
That's
Like
why
we didn't mean for like it to be like mostly guests. We meant for it to just be us talking about books and talking about
anything.
everything.
Yeah. And so thank you guys. It really means a lot to us, and it means a lot that you guys have been with us in this entire journey. Thank you to all of our guests that we've had so far.
It's almost been a year.
It's almost been a year. We're coming up on a year, and we hope to do something pretty awesome and special for
I don't know if we're gonna do anything special for it.
We're trying. Okay, we got a lot on our plate. But
We're pretty busy.
as always, make sure you guys go ahead and check out our shop. If you guys haven't gotten your October sticker packs, they are now available on our Etsy shop. They are a very, very special sticker pack for us because of what we were able to accomplish and what this podcast has been able to do for us. We have a couple of new projects coming along in the coming months of January, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. We will probably be doing a Black Friday sale for our sticker packs and our enamel pins that we have. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah,
That's gonna be everything. So come next week. I don't know what we'll be doing. Yeah. I have an exam next week, so it's definitely probably going to be a very short podcast. Usually I say short. It's probably just going to be like, I don't know.
An hour.
Oh, yeah, probably. So we say that, and then it's like an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
It'll happen.
We're just delaying the inevitable. So we will.
If you guys ever want us to talk about something or ever want us to read something and review it for the podcast, you guys can always shoot us a DM on our Instagram. You can always comment on our YouTube video or anywhere else, and just reach out
on
to
our
us.
Instagram page, on our TikToks, on our personal Instagrams too.
Yeah, just
definitely all of our links are down below, so you can definitely like click and go. So definitely check us out, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.